The team dynamic of the Boston Celtics, you can make the argument, live and die by the three-point so much they've attempted 240 more threes than any other team in the league. The second team is, of course, the Dallas Mavericks. Top of the Top, episode 252, Stash House Podcast. Your boy Tyler checking in. First time listeners, thank y'all for tuning in. If you tune in weekly, salute. And it's just an episode, some topics you may want to hear about, thank you as well. Podcast available on all podcast streaming platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like this video, leave comments, reviews. Subscribe to your preferred streaming platform. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Check out this podcast. Anything y'all do to help support, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Hope everyone had a safe week, safe weekend. Do the same this upcoming week. We do have our NBA Finals matchup set. The finals tip off this Thursday. We got the Boston Celtics going up against the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of storylines to talk about, keys to victory. We got some all-stars involved as well, and I'm looking forward to it. Overall, it's been a great NBA playoffs in my opinion. Even though the ending results of some series may vary, if you watch the games, you can tell some of these games could have went. It went down to the last seconds of the game, went down to overtime, and certain teams had a chance. But yet, we got our finals matchup. Boston Celtics, second finals appearance in 3 years, looking for their first title since 2008. Also, the 18th franchise championship as well. Dallas Mavericks looking for their first title since 2011. So let's get right on into it. A lot of things to talk about. Let's start first with the Boston Celtics. Like I said, second finals appearance, 3 years. They defeated the Pacers in a sweep in the Eastern Conference Finals. And a lot of people may complain saying they think the Boston Celtics had an easy route to the finals. I'm not all the way jumping on board with that. Yes, they benefited from injuries throughout the playoffs. But even, let's take, for an example, the Eastern Conference Finals. The Pacers had a chance to win 2, maybe 3 of those games. But yet, the Boston Celtics came out on top. Let's start with the coach, Joe Mazzulla. Interesting fact I saw about him. Since taking over the coaching job at Boston, since, 2022, I want to say, he has the highest winning percentage of any coach, like in history. He's sitting at 73.8%. I want to say number 2 is maybe Phil Jackson, of course. But that's just crazy. Yes, it's only been a few years, but within those few years, he's able to bring in 70% wins, over 70% of wins, and that's just crazy. The team dynamic of the Boston Celtics, you can make the argument, live and die by the three-point so much they've attempted 240 more threes than any other team in the league. The second team is, of course, the Dallas Mavericks. So I'm sure with this final series, and just like any other NBA game in 2024, we're going to see a lot of three-point attempts, and I'm going to talk about that more when I talk about the keys to victory. But I saw a quote Joe Mazzulla said, his mindset going into the finals, he wants his team to focus on rebounding, transition defense, and offensive execution. And that leads me to my next point. Jayson Tatum, Jalen Brown, the two-headed monster in Boston. Like I said, I feel like we've been watching these two guys in Boston for 10 years trying to get a finals championship. I feel like it's been that long. It hasn't been, but I feel like it. That's just how much, like even this season, Boston Celtics were favored to win the East, and some may say favored to win it all. I feel like that's been the argument with Boston for the past 5 years. Like, okay, they're going to be one of the top teams in the East and may have a chance at a championship. And they always fall short. Like I said, second finals appearance in 3 years. Last time they was in the finals, 2022, they lost to Golden State. And now they're back here once again, facing yet another dynamic duo with Kyrie and Luka. But keys to victory for the Boston Celtics. They had a 9-day rest. They got rid of the Indiana Pacers very, very quick, so they've been chilling, resting up. The health of Kristaps Porzingis. Some may say that is the X factor of this series, being that Dallas has some big guys that can go in the paint. Kristaps Porzingis, his health is very, very vital for Boston Celtics in these NBA Finals. I know they've been saying he should be back in time for maybe game 1, possibly game 2, but he's been out since game 4 of round 1. So they haven't had any issues. I think they went, 9-1 without him in the lineup. But now you're going against a Dallas Mavericks team who has all the momentum, all the confidence in the world. You may need Kristaps Porzingis just as a body. He may not need to give you 15 and 8 assists, but you may need him just as some type of decoy. But his health right now is in question. And like I said, some people may say he's the X factor. Going back to Jalen Brown and Jayson Tatum, Jalen Brown won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP award, and some may say that last finals appearance against Golden State, he showed up, where so Jayson Tatum kind of didn't. So that's the argument where will both of these guys show up or will just one show up, and that may be the detriment of the Boston Celtics in these finals. They need both of these guys to show up because you're going up against, once again, another dynamic duo in Kyrie and Luka, who definitely showed us in the Western Conference Finals they are ready for this moment. And even though the Celtics and the Mavericks have dynamic duos, I don't think the Celtics will put Tatum and Brown on Kyrie and Luka. I think they'll hand that over to Jrue Holiday and Derek White. 2 great defensive players, by the way. So it's not like you're just putting 2 other guys on Kyrie and Luka. You're putting 2 great defensive guys in Holiday and White on them. And that'll probably, as we saw with last year with Anthony Edwards, that'll allow Tatum and Brown to not run out of gas so early. Because keeping up with Kyrie, that's a lot of work. You may need to put more than one guy on him. But at the same time, I think Jrue Holiday and Derek White, he may try to contain Luka and Kyrie. You can't stop them. You can't stop them. You got a dynamic duo to where one of them may not be great in the first half, then the other one can take control, and then the one who wasn't as good in the first half come alive in the second half. It's kind of tough. Plus, they're role players. So I do think the Celtics, I think they had a great feat ahead of them. I don't think it's going to be as simple as, they favored to win. After what I saw in the Western Conference Finals with Dallas, they got a pretty tough hill to climb in my opinion. But that's just me. The role players, like I said, Derek White. On the defensive end, Kyrie and Luka, he got to step up. On the offensive end, he got to hit the threes. You're going to have wide open shots. Got to knock them down. And as we've been seeing with the playoffs, certain teams, certain players, they have the open threes, and they continue to shoot, continue to miss, and that's the detriment of the team. Like, no, if you're missing threes, go on the inside, work your way inside out, get to the free throw line. Just see the ball go in the net. Don't just keep shooting threes because that's going to lead to, like Joe Mazzulla said, transition defense. And with Kyrie and Luka, that's the last thing you want to do for 4 quarters straight. So Derek White got to hit his shots. Jrue Holiday, leadership. He's been here before. He's capitalized from being in the NBA Finals, winning the championship with Milwaukee. He's been here before. That veteran leadership, I'm sure he's going to calm everyone down. But the bench players, the other guys from Boston, outside of the usual suspects, they have to outscore Dallas bench. And once Derek White or Jrue Holiday, Tatum, and Brown sit on the bench, they got to contain Luka and Kyrie as well, plus the other role players Dallas got. So the bench for Boston is very, very vital in this series, alongside the health of Kristaps Porzingis. Boston need a lot of stuff to go right, in my opinion. They need Tatum and Brown to both be on for every game. I don't think they can afford for Tatum or Brown to fall off a series, or not a series, but a game in this series. Yes, you got Jrue Holiday, but like I said, Jrue Holiday, he's going to be busy with Kyrie or Luka. Derek White is going to be busy with Kyrie or Luka. So the other bench guys got to step up. And Joe Mazzulla, his coaching. Can't just let the Celtics go on the court and just shoot threes all day. You got to figure it out because, like I said, they missing them threes. You talk about transition defense. Yeah, you got to look forward to it. Like I said, it's coming after I saw the Western Conference Finals. That's my thing. It's like, okay, I'm seeing what Kyrie and Luka can do. Now let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Like I said, first finals appearance since 2011, where they defeated the Miami Heat Big Three when they first assembled. And the point guard of that team was Jason Kidd. So that's a nice storyline. Also, you got Kyrie Irving as well, returning to Boston. And just salute to Kyrie Irving. I was one of the guys saying when he had his situation in Brooklyn at least, I was like, okay, I think it's half and half. Kyrie, you see the opportunity you got with James Harden and Kevin Durant, even though I didn't think it would make a big splash just because of the egos involved. So you had a situation with Kyrie with the vaccine and all that, but at the same time, he was in New York. And that New York media different. I think I said it when he left Boston. I said, yeah, I don't know. Because he was, in my opinion, leaving Cleveland because he like, I want to have my own team. That's just him growing up or in the process of growing up as a player. He didn't want to be in the shadows of Bron no more. I understood that. He went to Boston. I was like, okay, this Boston crowd different, even if you play for the Celtics. Young Tatum, young Brown didn't work out like they thought it was, so he went to Brooklyn. I said, oh, this Brooklyn, this New York media, it's going to be different. But this season in Dallas, it just seemed like he just, you know what, I'm going to keep my opinion to myself. I'm just going out there and show these guys I'm one of the best in the world when it comes to this game of basketball. And that's what Kyrie Irving been doing. After not making the playoffs last year, Dallas making it to the finals this year, Luka putting the league on notice, putting the league on his back now, I think, because that performance he had in the Western Conference Finals, just seeing. I know we talk about it with Luka and Jokic, like these European guys who, when they shoot threes, it's like they barely are attempting to shoot it, and it just goes nothing but net. You like damn near from half court. It just like, yeah. Like that game 5 against Minnesota, when he came out and just set the tone, I said, yeah, he ready. And then, like I said, if Kyrie have a slow start, you know he's going to come alive in the second half. You got P.J. Washington. You got Lively. You got Gafford as well. Dallas, what I saw in the Western Conference Finals, it seems like they ready. A very impressive playoff run. First round, getting through the Clippers. Second round, number 1 seed, OKC Thunder. And, of course, round 3, the Minnesota Timberwolves, who had all the momentum. And, yeah, Dallas has been doing what Dallas is supposed to do. And once again, I just want to give kudos to Kyrie and Luka. 2 guys put their ego to the side. 2 guys, you can say, when they got together, with both of them ball dominant, and they just put that argument to rest. They put it to rest. Like, when you watch the games and you see, like, oh, this can work with 2 ball dominant guards. I mean, you got to salute it. Both of them can give you 40 any given night. So I think it's going to come down to, in terms of the dynamic duos, even though I don't think Boston dynamic duo will guard Dallas, I think it comes down to which dynamic duo will be more reliable throughout the series. And it's kind of hard for me to go against Kyrie and Luka, even though they haven't been together longer than Jayson Tatum and Jalen Brown. We've seen what happens when Tatum and Brown are not synced in together compared to Luka and Kyrie. So that's an advantage they have as well. Like I said, role players, P.J. Washington, Gafford, Lively, Jones Jr., they showed and proved last series against Minnesota. Like that 2-headed monster they got with Gafford and Lively, oh, man. That's the deciding factor as well in this series. Like I said, the health of Kristaps Porzingis. You're not going to sit there and tell me Al Horford is going to stop these 2 guys. You're going to put Tatum and Brown on them. And I think one thing the Dallas Mavericks have learned from the Minnesota series, if it is some guys that, you know, are a threat in terms of Brown or Drew Holiday, Tatum, let's give it to these guys in the paint. Let's get these guys in foul trouble. So I think Jason Kidd, I saw a quote. He said he looks at it through a point guard vision, and who better than Jason Kidd to do that? Yes, we've seen other point guards, Steve Nash, you know, not have much success. But Jason Kidd, just the way he, like, analyzed the game, especially with Kyrie and Luka as they guards, I can see Jason Kidd looking at it and coaching this game or this series through a point guard vision. He's been there before. He knows what these guys are going through. Like I say, I'm very intrigued with this series. I'm very intrigued. I'm looking to see what Boston guys are going to do because we've been waiting for years. And this coming from a Lakers fan. It's like, at some point, I'm like, damn, Boston, y'all just going to keep coming up short. And then you got Kyrie and Luka. Kyrie looking for his second ring. Luka looking for his first ring. And Luka is looking dialed in. I was completely wrong last series thinking he was going to get ejected. And I'm not going to lose faith in that because Luka has a tendency to complain a lot. But we'll see how it goes. So with all that being said, my prediction for the NBA Finals, I'm going with the Dallas Mavericks in 6. I want to say 5, but I'm going to say 6. I want it to be an epic NBA Finals. I think coaching will have a lot to do with the way these finals play out. The health of Kristaps Porzingis. Dallas Mavericks, I think they're going to get the Boston Celtics in foul trouble. And I think they're going to play some mind games with them. Because the Celtics are a team that live and die by the three-point. Do you allow them to continue to shoot threes to get them out of sync? Because if you keep shooting and shooting and shooting, we saw it with the Houston Rockets years ago against Golden State when they missed like 20-something threes. When you get into their head like that, like, no, keep shooting. We'll give you the shot. Keep shooting. Y'all keep missing. Transition defense. Kyrie, one of the smoothest in the game. Luka, one of the smoothest. You got the guys that can go for alley-oops and P.J. Washington in the corner for threes. If the Celtics not making them outside threes, it's going to be a short series. Compared to Dallas, who, they shoot threes. They were second behind the Celtics in three-point attempts this season. But we know Kyrie can just say, all right, let me go hit this mid-range. Let me go in the paint. Let's go to the free throw line. Can the Celtics get out of their own head and work their way inside out when the three-point shot not working? That's what I really want to see. Another thing I'm looking forward to, who's guarding Kyrie and Luka. I don't think you put that on Tatum and Brown. I really don't. You got Derek White, great defensive player. Drew Holiday, great defensive player. Let them take that road. And that'll save up energy for Brown and Tatum. Even though they still got to guard, P.J. Washington, likely a Gafford as well, Jones Jr. They still got their job to do, but don't put that on them because they can get quick foul trouble, as we saw with Minnesota going up against Dallas. So I'm looking forward to see how it play out. Like I said, we got all-stars involved. We got great coaching, 2 great teams. Atmosphere going to be on point as well. I'm looking forward to it, but my prediction for the finals, I'm going with the Dallas Mavericks to defeat the Boston Celtics in 6 games. Stamp it, mark it, record it, screenshot it, whatever you got to do. That's my pick. Let me know you guys' opinions, how this series will play out, what you're looking forward to, the keys to success, X Factor, and all that good stuff. Reach out to me. All in all, this has been episode 252, Stash House Podcast. Make sure you guys go out, have a great work week. If you're on vacation from school, enjoy your vacation. Be mindful of your surroundings. If you're traveling, be aware of your surroundings. If you're with a group, don't stray away from the group. Don't try to be a extra tourist and go to what you see and hear on videos, and stay with your people, man. It's a crazy, crazy world out here. Y'all drink plenty of water, eat your fruit, get your exercise in, all that good stuff. Keep me in your prayers. I'll do the same for y'all. Salute.